Good afternoon and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, basketball fans of all ages. We're coming to you live from Cancun, Mexico, in the Hard Rock Hotel Riviera Maya. It is the first matchup on this Tuesday, the third-place game here in the Mayan division. It's Idaho State versus NJIT. That's the New Jersey Institute of Technology. The Highlanders versus Idaho State. Idaho State narrowly losing yesterday in a close game, but it was 30 turnovers that prevented them from joining Georgia State in that championship game. Later today, it will be Georgia State versus Eastern Kentucky, the Colonels of Eastern Kentucky. So as we get the starters announced here at the Convention Center, the location of today's tournament and the tournament for the last couple of years for Idaho State, it will be Gino Luscando who gets the start in that guard position. Luscando had a fantastic performance yesterday, 20-plus points, almost a rebound shy of a double-double. The Santiago, Chile native 6'3" guard, a junior, very, very athletic guard is Gino Luscando. Robert Jones also gets the start. Novak Topolovic, the center in there, the sophomore from Serbia, 230, 7-foot sophomore there. Brandon Boyd, the point guard, he will run the show today. And Gary Chavichin also on the starting lineup for the Bengals. For the New Jersey Institute of Technology and the Highlanders, it will be Abdul Lewis, the sophomore forward from Newark, New Jersey. Tim Coleman also gets the start, the senior from Union, New Jersey. Damon Lynn, also a guard, just 165, 5'11", from Hillside, New Jersey. Osa Izabua with the start from Staten Island. And from East Brunswick, New Jersey, Rob Ukawuba, the senior guard, 6'4". Should be an athletic matchup today between these two. Idaho State will be looking to limit the turnovers that they had yesterday. But we are just about set to go here in Cancun. First matchup of 4 today, the third-place game in the Mayan division, Idaho State, NJIT. The first-place game will take place right after this. It will be Georgia State versus Eastern Kentucky in a highly anticipated matchup. Of course, later tonight, the CBS Sports Network broadcasts the third-place game in the Riviera division and the championship game, which will be Purdue and Auburn. Another highly anticipated matchup. So away we go here in Cancun. Idaho State wins the tip, and it's Boyd to start up the offense for Idaho State. He gets it to Jones here on the near wing. Jones gets the screen from Topolovic. Loses the ball momentarily, gains it back, gets it back to Luscando. Luscando resets with 15 on the shot clock, gets the screen around the middle, loses the ball, and it's stolen away by NJIT. Abdul Lewis gets it up to Damon Lynn. Lynn with it, guarded closely by Boyd. Gets it across. It's Izabua. Izabua goes up and gets the foul call. He will go to the line. Osa Izabua heads to the free throw line to shoot the game's, hopefully, first 2 points. Foul will be on Novak Topolovic. He fouled out in that game against Eastern Kentucky yesterday. Foul problems already starting here. Izabua misses the first free throw. Just 33 seconds gone here, first half. Izabua digs in. Second free throw is up and good. 1-0 is your score here. Here is Chavichin. And Idaho State across to Boyd, now to Jones. Jones on the far side wing, guarded closely by Coleman. Gets it out to Boyd. Boyd, guarded by Lynn, drops to Jones. Jones pump fakes a three, now takes one, and that one is off, and the rebound to Izabua. Izabua streaking forward. Izabua stops his dribble, gets it to Ukawuba. Now Coleman fires up a three. That one rattles home. 4-0 early lead for NJIT and the Highlanders. Brian Kennedy's squad. Here is Idaho State. They get it to Chavichin. Chavichin fakes now to Boyd. Boyd gets the screen, turns in the middle, takes a deep two. That one rattles off, and the rebound to Lewis. Abdul Lewis with the rebound up to Coleman. Coleman, Lynn, Isabua, now Ukawuba. Ukawuba trying to get it to Lynn. Tip pass almost stolen away, corralled by Lynn. Lynn drives down the middle, drop pass to Ukawuba, up and under for the score. 6-0 now in the early going for Ukawuba. 18-11 in the clock working for Idaho State. Boyd with it now. Drops to Luscando. Luscando has it tipped away in the low block. Dribbles inside, takes a dribble, goes up with the right hand, misses, but gets the foul call. Gina Luscando will go to the line to shoot two. Ukawuba picks up the foul, his first team foul for NJIT. As Luscando digs in. That one is up and good. As Lennox will check in for Topolovic. Lennox was that first man off the bench yesterday for Topolovic when he went into early foul trouble. Just the one foul for Novak now. Luscando hits the second, 6-2 here, 7:54. As Lynn brings it across. Gets it to Isabua. Coleman. Now to Ukawuba. Ukawuba on the wing, now Coleman. Coleman at the top of the key, orchestrating traffic. Gets it to Lewis. Lewis at the elbow. Lewis turns outside, drops to Lynn. And we're going to get an illegal screen here on Abdul Lewis. It'll be a turnover. And we'll head the other direction in favor of Idaho State. Down 6-2 with 17:31 on the clock. Lennox inbounds to Boyd, and away we go again. Has it stolen away by Damon Lynn. Now to Coleman. Coleman tried the slam, but he's stuffed by Jones. Robert Jones III, the 6'8" forward from Mansfield, Ohio, streaking in with the block. NJIT was on a fast break off the Idaho State turnover. Already 2 turnovers in the early going for Idaho State. There was a problem yesterday for the Bengals. Minor bits of confusion on the court. It'll reset the shot clock. As it will be Lynn to inbound. Everything is set. 24 seconds on the shot clock. They rob out to Isabua for 3. That one is good. Osa Isabua knocks down the 3. It's now 9-2. A fresh 30 for Idaho State. Working back. It's Jones. Chavichin. Chavichin turns the corner. Now Jones. Jones kicks to Boyd. Now Chavichin. Chavichin fires up a 3. That one looks long and is, and it's tipped out right to Boyd. Boyd dribbles in on Lewis, goes up with the right hand. That one is short, and the rebound to Coleman. Coleman throws it up to Lynn. NJIT on a fast break if they want it. They go to the corner, and Ukawuba now is Awuba at the elbow, dribbling in, almost has it stolen away. But we're going to get a jump ball call, possession arrow in favor of NJIT. 16:41 left here, first half. Ball will be underneath. Damon Lynn to inbound. Lynn kicks back to Isabua. Isabua drops to Lynn. And we're going to get a quick foul. This one will be on Boyd. Second team foul on Idaho State. It'll be the first on Boyd. Damon Lynn. Isabua. Takes a dribble, drops to Coleman. Coleman at the top of the key. Isabua, Ukawuba from the corner. That one's off the rebound, tipped around to Coleman, who puts it up and in. Tim Coleman working the offensive glass. It's now 11-2. Here's Boyd. Luscando. Luscando looking for Lennox. Kicks it out to Jones. The coaching staff happy with the defensive effort. Bodies hit the deck as it gets to Boyd. Boyd now to Lennox. Over to Luscando. Luscando dribbling baseline, goes up with the right hand, has that blocked by Coleman. Back comes NJIT. Ukawuba is fouled. 15:50 left to play here. 11-2 in the first half. NJIT out to the early lead. We'll be back here with more from Cancun after the first break. Welcome back to the Hard Rock Hotel Riviera Maya in Cancun, Mexico. It's NJIT and Idaho State in the third place game of this Mayan division. NJIT out to an early lead, 11-2, 15:46, and the clock working for the Highlanders. Ukawuba has it on the near side. They kick to Lynn, fires off a deep three. True as the day is long, and it's 14-2 from Damon Lynn, and back comes Idaho State. Looking to answer. It's Boyd. Boyd dribbles baseline floater, misses everything. Ukawuba with the rebound. Ukawuba bringing it forward. Now Lynn on the near side. Far side Isabua. Isabua stops his dribble, guarded by Luscando, gets it over to Ukawuba. The pass is out of bounds. A turnover. As Coleman back in the game. Briefly, Anthony Tark had subbed in for about 30 seconds, but Tim Coleman back in there. They bring it forward. Idaho State. It's Garrity. Luscando, now Jones. Jones looking inside, now Garrity. Garrity up top. Chavichin. To Luscando. Garrity inside, turns with a jump hook and got it. A nice move from Hayes Garrity. He now has two. Here's Isabua. Now in. Isabua fires up a three. That one is off the rebounded Lewis. He goes up but is fouled by Lennox. Stephen Lennox picks up the fouls. We'll get a couple of substitutions here after the first free throw. 14-16 left on the clock. 14-4 is your margin right now in favor of the Highlanders. Abdul Lewis, the 6'10", redshirt sophomore from Newark, New Jersey. As Alston will check in Topolovich in for Idaho State. Abdul Lewis ranks second in the Atlantic Sun in rebounds at 8.4 per game as he makes the second free throw. Mohammed Bendari will check in for Abdul Lewis after hitting the free throw. 16-4 now, Idaho State bringing it back. Jones, Garrity, now Boyd. Boyd on the wing, Luscando swinging it around the perimeter to Jones. Go inside to Topolovich. Topolovich backing down to Bendari. Back out to Boyd. Fires up a three. That one is good. All right, and Boyd gets the three. A badly needed one for Idaho State. Back come the Highlanders. Alston has it. Now Alston. Bendari at the block. Bendari takes a dribble looking inside. Now a cutting Alston. He missed him. Gets out to Lynn. Lynn back to Isabua. Isabua tripped up momentarily. Inside, fadeaway jumper is off, and the rebound to Jones. They get it up to Boyd. Boyd looking to do a fast break by himself. Has it pickpocketed, and back come the Highlanders and Lynn. Lynn will dribble inside. Gets to the wing. Finds Alston at the wing. That one fires is no good. Alston grabs his own rebound. Has it. Kicks out to Isabua. Highlanders will reset with Damon Lynn. Second chance opportunity here. Isabua. Skip pass to Lynn. Back to Isabua. Working on that Idaho State 2-3 zone inside Coleman. Coleman has it tipped down by Garrity. Swung around Isabua in the corner. That one looks off and is. The rebound to Hayes Garrity. Garrity brings it up to Boyd. Boyd, now Garrity. Jones wide open on the wing. Fires up a three and hits it. 16-10 now. 12:36 and the clock working. As Damon Lynn brings it forward. Damon Lynn. Bendari out to Isabua. Isabua on the wing. Lynn, skip pass, inside now at the high post. Bendari. Pass is tipped away. Jones back to Garrity, who loses it, and another turnover back the other way for Idaho State. So fourth turnover for the Bengals here in the early going. Up to Coleman. Bendari at the low post. Alston. Isabua swings to Lynn, who has it now. The corner in Isabua. Bendari. Bendari double team. Skip pass to Isabua. Isabua fakes a three. Gets it to Lynn. Lynn has to fire up a deep one. Misses everything. Shot clock violation. With 11:35 left to play here, first half. NJIT leads it 16-10. We'll be back with more here from Mexico. Welcome back here to Cancun. Hard Rock Hotel Riviera Maya. It's the third place game in the Mayan division. Idaho State and NJIT. Idaho State with the ball now, down 16-10. Boyd looking inside to Luscondo, has to swing it to Garrity. Garrity back to Boyd. Now Luscondo at the block. Luscondo turns and faces, takes a hop step, throws it up with the left hand and in. Gino Luscondo, 2 more points. He's got 4 now, leading Idaho State scores. 16-12 now the margin. Ukawuba now to Lynn. Lynn, swing, Jenkins. Ukawuba back to Lynn. Ukawuba in the corner. Gets it inside, Abdul Lewis. Kicks it back outside, swung to Coleman. 2 on the shot clock. Coleman has to put it up. A scoop shot is in. Pretty move from Tim Coleman to beat the shot clock, 18-12. Now the margin. Lennox to Luscondo, who fires up a 3. That one is good. Luscondo heating up here at the midway point of the first half. He's got 7 now. Damon Lynn. Jenkins. Now Coleman. Jenkins swings to Lynn. Lynn fakes it, goes inside, drop pass. Ukawuba spins it off the glass. Pretty offense there from NJIT. High out to low, the exact way to beat a zone. 9:54 in the clock working for Idaho State. Hayes Garrity to Toplovich. Toplovich back out to Boyd, fires up a 3. That one is in. 3-point shooting now starting to favor Idaho State, and it's a 2-point game, 20-18. Lynn with it. Ukawuba. Lynn in the corner. Fires a 3. That one is off the rebound to Garrity. Back comes Idaho State. Now to Boyd. Boyd gets the screen from Lennox. Boyd dribbling to the corner. Back to Lennox. Fires up a 3 for the lead. No. With the rebound to Lynn. Out to Ukawuba. Back to Lynn. Ukawuba. Ukawuba dribbling inside. Kicks out to Jenkins, but a foul first. Going to be the 5th team foul on Idaho State. As Jones and Chavichin check back in. Riley Walsh in for NJIT. Fouls on Lennox, his first. Walsh in now, gets to Lynn. Lynn to Jenkins. Jenkins now Lynn. Back to Jenkins. Thought about a 3, gets it to Lewis at the free throw line, takes a jumper. That one's short. Rebound to Toplovich, stolen away by Walsh. They get it to Lynn. Lynn still has it, bobbles it, out to Walsh, fakes a 3, out to Jenkins. Now to Lynn, who will fire up a 3. That one is short. Rebound to Walsh. Out to Lynn. He'll try again. That one's off. Rebound at Lewis. Lewis throws it up and is fouled. 3 opportunities in that possession for NJIT. And it culminates in Abdul Lewis free throws. Foul's going to be on Jones. His 2nd personal foul. Abdul Lewis hits the first free throw. As Natkin will check in for Idaho State in replace of Jones in the early foul trouble. Lewis digs in for his 2nd. That one is up and good. 8:27 left here. First half. NJIT up 22-18. Chavichin hands to Natkin. Now Garrity across to Boyd. Boyd looking around, surveying, gets it back to Garrity. Garrity will set up shot with Coleman guarding. Garrity thought about a 3, gets it to Boyd. Boyd with a little crossover move. Cannot get around Lynn. They drop back. Boyd wide open for 3. That one is off, and the rebound to Jenkins. Jenkins fires up a 3 in transition. That one's off the rebound, Garrity. Garrity flips to Boyd. Boyd streaking in is fouled by Coleman. With 7:44 to play here, first half, we will take a break in Cancun with the Highlanders up 4. Welcome back, friends. Thomas Hoppen with you here at the Hard Rock Hotel Riviera Maya in Cancun, Mexico. Idaho State NJIT here in this third-place game in the Mayan division. Coming to the timeout, it'll be Boyd to shoot the free throws. Brandon Boyd, the 5'11 sophomore guard from Los Angeles, California. Makes the first free throw. Brings the lead within 3. We'll dig in for another. Idaho State never led in this game. Misses the free throw. Coleman with the rebound. The lead has been as large as 10 for NJIT. There's Jenkins. Coleman in the corner. Fakes it. Swings around. Finds Lynn. Now to Jenkins. Swing to Walsh. Walsh at the top of the key. 4 on the shot clock. Gets tipped around and stolen away by Garrity. Garrity bringing it forward. Up to Boyd. Boyd, Chavichin. Chavichin gets around a defender. Fires up a 3 and hits. Gary Chavichin with a 3-point bucket, and it's a tie ball game, 22-22. Here's Walsh. Now Coleman. Coleman, Jenkins, Lynn. Inside Lewis, outside Jenkins, fires the 3. That one is good. Give the assist to Lewis. 25-23, NJIT on top. 6:26 and the clock working. Up to Chavichin. Chavichin, Boyd. Boyd runs to Garrity. Now Nakin. Nakin guarded by Jenkins. Hangs to Garrity up top with 15 on the shot clock. Garrity dribbling in, throws it away. Right to Jenkins, up to Lynn. NJIT 3 in transition. You betcha. Back-to-back 3-pointers for the Highlanders, and now they're up 6, 28-22. Under 6 to play now here in the first half as Boyd brings it across the timeline for Idaho State. Chavichin on the wing, inside to Toplovich. Toplovich guarded by Lewis at the low block, turns inside up with the left hand. That one's off. Rebound Coleman. Coleman bringing it back. Out to Damon Lynn. Lynn to Walsh. Walsh fakes a 3, drops to Coleman, who will fire. From deep range, that one's off. Rebound Lewis, puts it up and in. Abdul Lewis. It's the 2-point bucket. Highlanders back up 8. Garrity grabs it on the wing inside of Toplovich. Backing down on Lewis. Spins into the middle of the paint. Goes up with it, but is fouled. Be just the 4th foul in the half against NJIT. It will send Toplovich to the line. Foul will be on Coleman, his 2nd. As Toplovich digs in. Hits the first free throw. As Isabua and Ukawuba will check in for Jenkins and Walsh for the Highlanders. Toplovich hits the 2nd. As Luscando will check in for Nakin. Lynn gets the play call. Sets things up. Ukawuba, now Isabua. Coleman in the corner. To Lewis. Outside. Coleman fires a jumper. That one is long, and the rebound to Luscando. Luscando pushes up to Boyd. Back comes Idaho State. Almost has it pickpocketed. Gets out to Chavichin. Chavichin in the corner. Dribbles inside off the window and in. Gary Chavichin with the 2-point bucket, 30-26, 4:29. And the Highlanders working here. Here's Isabua. Isabua, now Coleman. Back to Isabua. Back to Coleman at the high post. Drop pass to Ukawuba. Fakes one, goes up and misses the shot, but will get the foul call. Ukawuba cutting baseline. Lewis saw him. A very good passing from the NJIT bigs. Two shots for Ukawuba. Ukawuba misses the first free throw. Anthony Tark will check in for Tim Coleman. Stephen Lennox in for Idaho State. 4:15 on the clock here, first half. 30-26. The Highlanders leading. Ukawuba misses the 2nd, 0 for 2 on that trip to the charity stripe. Back comes Garrity in Idaho State. Now Chavichin, Luscando to Lennox. Out to Boyd. Luscando, Lennox. Lennox at the block. Turns and faces Lewis. Lewis blocks it on the inside. Back comes NJIT. Here's Isabua. Now Lynn. Tark on the wing. Now Lynn. Isabua with 8 on the clock. Isabua turning inside is fouled by Boyd. 3:28 to play here, first half. NJIT still with the lead, 30-26. We'll be back here in Cancun. Welcome back here to Cancun, Mexico, the Hard Rock Hotel Riviera Maya. Osa Isabua digging in at the line for the 1-1. Misses the front end. Luscando with the rebound. NJIT still with the lead, 30-26. 3:21 in the clock, working for Idaho State. Here's Garrity. Garrity looking Luscando at the post. Luscando guarded by Lewis. Luscando trying to go baseline, goes underneath the fake. A nice move, but a foul called on Abdul Lewis. Good footwork by Luscando. He draws the foul. Luscando already with 7, 2 rebounds, an assist in his 13 minutes of basketball. Luscando make it 8 as he hits the first free throw. Tim Coleman will check in for Tark. Luscando digs in for the second. That one is up and good. As we come back here for NJIT. Damon Lynch sets up shop. Lynn across to Isabua. Isabua back to Lynn. Isabua at the wing. The high post and Coleman. Kicks out to Ukawuba. Inside to Lewis, and an offensive foul. Back-to-back fouls called on Lewis. It's going to be Lewis's 3rd foul. It'll bring Mohamed Bendari back in. Garrity will bring it across. Garrity with it. Fires up a 3 and hits it. Idaho State takes the lead 31-30. Their first lead of the ball game. Here's Bendari out to Coleman. Coleman dribbles inside, takes a hop step up with the left hand and got it to go. Tim Coleman gets the bucket, takes the lead right back for the Highlanders. Here's Garrity. Now Luscando. Chavichin on the wing. Nakin. Luscando looking for Lennox. Dribbles baseline. Luscando in a trap, gets out to Nakin in the corner, fires a 3, it rattles off. Tim Coleman the rebound. Up to Lynn. Lynn to the high post, Bendari. Bendari to Coleman. Coleman at the free throw line. Out to Ukawuba. Ukawuba drops to Lynn, fires a deep 3. That one is short. The rebound, Luscando. Idaho State looking to push. 4-on-3 if they want it. Luscando, Garrity. Garrity fakes a pass, fires a 3. That one is long. The rebound to Bendari. 1:27 left here, first half. Damon Lynn. Brian Kennedy calls out the play. Ukawuba to Coleman. Ukawuba in the corner. Ukawuba skip pass to Isabua. Drives baseline, but out of bounds, says the official. It'll be a turnover for the Highlanders as Tark will check in for Coleman for the last minute, 6 seconds of this first half. 7 turnovers now for the Highlanders. Just 6 for Idaho State. Much better than yesterday's affair. Here's Garrity. Luscando, guarded by Tark. Luscando, pump fakes, dribbles in, and has it stolen away. Tark has it, keeps it in. It was out of bounds, so a turnover the other direction. It'll be Idaho State basketball with 49 seconds on the clock. Garrity. Guarded by Lynn. High post and Lennox. Drops to Garrity. Garrity at the free throw line. Short. Rebound Luscando. Luscando amongst 3, but traveled with the basketball. Luscando can't believe it. Pleading his case to the official. Nonetheless, it'll be a turnover. Lynn will bring it up with 35 seconds on the game clock. 5 seconds difference, game clock and shot clock. It'll be a timeout called by NJIT. So to reset the game here, NJIT leads it 32-31 over the Idaho State Bengals. The lead has changed twice, been tied once. NJIT has led the majority of this game in this half, 18 minutes in fact. 8 turnovers apiece for each ball club. Been turned into 9 and 10 points respectively. Offensive rebound in a heavy favor for NJIT. The small difference in this game, those offensive rebounds and second chance points opportunities, 11-0 for the Highlanders and Brian Kennedy's ball club. So 30.5 seconds on the clock, 25 seconds on the game clock. Ukawuba to inbound. Ukawuba into Isabua. Isabua takes a couple of dribbles, stops, gets to Ukawuba in the corner, fires a three. That one's off. Rebound, Isabua. Another second chance opportunity here. They can play for last shot. Across to Isabua. Isabua to Bendari. Now Tark. Tark fires a deep two. That one's off. 2 seconds left. Half court from Garrity is short. It was good if it went, but the half will come to an end. 32-31 NJIT with the slight lead after 20 minutes. 20 more minutes of basketball to come here in Cancun, and of course 3 more games after this. It's the third place game in the Mayan division. NJIT and Idaho State will be back here at the Hard Rock Hotel Riviera Maya with 20 more minutes of basketball. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Cancun, Mexico, in the Hard Rock Hotel Riviera Maya. It's the second half of play between Idaho State and NJIT. The Highlanders and the Bengals played closely in the first half. Highlanders lead 32-31. 11 second chance points for the Highlanders. It'll be Idaho State to have the ball to start the second half. Jones out there with Boyd, Luscando, Chavichin, and Topolovic. Luscando hands to Jones at the high post, guarded by Coleman. The switch, Boyd lays it up off the glass and in to take the lead, 33-32. Lynn brings it back with NJIT. He's out there with Isabua, Lewis, Ukawuba, and Coleman. Ukawuba now with it on the corner. Out to Coleman. Isabua fires up a three. That one's off. And the rebound to Boyd. Boyd pushes up to Luscando. Luscando travels with the basketball. Mad at himself. 40 seconds gone. We get our first sub here as Jenkins comes in for Isabua. Ukawuba tying his laces. He has it, drops to Lynn. 33-32, Idaho State with the early lead here in the second half. Here's Ukawuba driving in on Topolovic, off the window and in. And back comes Idaho State. Jones. Luscando. Far side to Boyd. Boyd drops into Topolovic. Topolovic spins in, a good move on the low block against Abdul Lewis. They get it to Lynn. Over to Coleman. Back to Lynn. Now Jenkins, near side wing. Jenkins has it again to the corner and Coleman. Looking for Lewis. Lewis has the mismatch against Chavichin, goes up with the right hand. That one misses. Rebound Topolovic, and he drops to Boyd. Boyd looking to push. Boyd going coast to coast. The finger roll up and in. Brendan Boyd may have hurt himself as he came down on that one, limping across to the other side of half court, but the Idaho State has their largest lead of the game, 37-34. Here's Jenkins, now Lynn. Coleman, Ukawuba in the corner. Takes a couple of dribbles. Lynn fires up a three. That one is true. 37-37. Game is tied again. Second tie of the afternoon. Here's Boyd. Jones. Back to Boyd. Guarded by Lynn. Takes the three. That one is short. The rebound to Coleman. Ahead to Lynn. Lynn, using his body as a shield, gets the layup to go. New Jersey Institute of Technology back on top. Inside to Topolovic. Topolovic backing down on Lewis. Turns inside. Little jump hook with the right hand is in. Game's tied for the third time at 39. They come back to Coleman. Coleman, Jenkins, now Lewis. Lewis, baseline jumper. That one's short. Rebound Boyd. Boyd pushing forward to Luscando. Back to Jones. Fakes a three. Gets to Chavichin. Swung around to Boyd. Into Topolovic at the low block. Back out to Chavichin. Fires up a three. That one is good. Three-point lead again for the Bengals. Bendari, Nizabua to check in at the next dead ball. 16:26 left to play here. Here's a three-pointer by Lynn. That one's long. Rebound Lewis as he drops down. It gets to Ukawuba, who goes up but is fouled with 16:17 on the clock. Rob Ukawuba to the line. Ukawuba, the 6'3" senior guard from East Brunswick, New Jersey. Fourth leading scorer in the A-Sun last year at 8.2 points per game. So here comes Bendari and Isabua. One more shot for Ukawuba. Makes that one. It's a 2-point lead now for Idaho State as Boyd will bring it up. Oh, Boyd to Chavichin. Toplovich hands it back. Lennox at the top. Now Chavichin fires up a three. That one's long. The rebound, Coleman. Coleman pulling down his 7th rebound of the afternoon. Here's Isabua. Now Coleman working on that 2-3. Dribbles in, hands out to Ukawuba. Ukawuba dribbles out. Now Coleman. Coleman fakes a three. Drives baseline. Double teams. Gets it to a cutting Ukawuba. Has it kicked away. All the way up to Boyd. Boyd streaking. Goes up. Has it blocked. No foul. Foul's going to go against Damon Lynn. It's going to be his first personal of the afternoon, first team foul of the half. 42-40. Idaho State leads it. 15:33 left to play here in Cancun. We'll take a break. We'll be back after this. Coming out of the timeout, it'll be Brandon Boyd to shoot 2 free throws off of the Damon Lynn foul, trying to extend the lead to 4. As Boyd hits the first free throw. Boyd now with 12 in the game. Hits the second. Make it 13. 44-40. Idaho State leads it. Isabua with the basketball. Flips it up to Ukawuba. Now Isabua, now to Lynn. Lynn at the wing. Backdoor cut. Rob Ukawuba on the alley-oop layup. 42-44. Here's Luscando. Back to Boyd. Boyd looking inside at Toplovich. They've had success here early. Bendari guarding. Toplovich turning to the inside. Has it stolen away by Coleman. Back comes NJIT. Coleman stops at the three-point line. Skip pass to Isabua. Now Ukawuba looking inside. Gives it to Isabua. Isabua drops to Bendari. Bendari to Lynn. Lynn, step back three. Got it. 45-44. And JIT with the lead once again. Toplovich at the low block. Back outside. Now we're going to get a foul call. Double foul call. We saw this yesterday. A double foul against low posts. Bendari and Toplovich. It's going to be Toplovic's second foul. Also second foul on Bendari. There's Luscando driving baseline, kicks out to Lennox for three. That one's short. The rebound Bendari and saved by Lynn. Lynn brings it forward. Isabua. Now Ukawuba in the corner. Guarded by Lennox. Ukawuba with it. Driving inside. Kicks to the corner and Coleman. Coleman. Driving inside. Step back. We're going to get a foul first, though. This one on the floor. It's going to go against Lennox. That will be his second personal foul. Idaho State has not scored in the last 2 minutes, 45 seconds. As Hayes Garrity checks in for Toplovic, Idaho State going small here. There's Lynn to inbound to Coleman. Back to Lynn in the corner for three. Got it. 48-44. Here's Luscando driving in on Ukawuba. Stops his dribble, drives it back to Harity. Boyd stops at the elbow. Gets it to Javichin. Javichin trying to drive baseline. Cut off by Isabua. They get to Boyd. Boyd stepped out of bounds. Another turnover for Idaho State. Jenkins will check in for Bendari. So two very small lineups out here for both squads as it's NJIT basketball. 13:28 to play. Lynn will bring it up for the Highlanders. Coleman with it. Guarded by Boyd. Takes one off the window. That one's long. Lennox the rebound. Boyd drives into the middle and is fouled. Foul's going to go against Rob Ukawuba. Second personal foul on Ukawuba. 2 shots now for Boyd. Boyd on the afternoon, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Boyd settles in. Cans the first, 48-45 now the margin for the Bengals. This game has been tied already 3 times. 8 lead changes. Idaho State already played an overtime game yesterday. As Brandon Boyd hits the second, 48-46. 13:09 in the clock working for NJIT. Lynn. Thought about a 3, gets it to Isabua. Now Ukawuba at the low block. Turns baseline, spins it underneath. Rob Ukawuba. 50-46. NJIT leads it. Luscando now to Boyd. Swings it around Garrity. Garrity at the top. Gets it to Javichin. Javichin inside, tipped away, and out of bounds. As we get a couple of subs here, as Nakin will check in for Idaho State, as will Shaquan Gibbs. First minutes of the afternoon for Shaquan. Gibbs, a freshman guard from Hillside, New Jersey. We'll get the Brandon Boyd assignment. For now, it's Hayes Garrity. Hayes Garrity driving in, kicks out Lennox. Now Boyd. Boyd with 4. The floater down the lane is long, and the rebound Ukawuba stolen back by Boyd. Boyd gets it out. Garrity is fouled by Jenkins before he starts his move. No shot, but the 4th team foul on NJIT. 12:18 left here in this first matchup of 4 today. Georgia State, Eastern Kentucky to come after this. Brandon Boyd to inbound. Gets it to Lennox. Lennox in the corner. Drops to Boyd. Has it tipped around. Out of bounds. It will stay Bengal basketball with 12-12. 25 on the shot clock. Brandon Boyd. Garrity. Out to Nakin. Nakin inside to Luscando. Luscando at the block. Guarded by Ukawuba. Turns inside, goes up with the left and misses. Rebound tipped around, controlled by Coleman. Gets it up to Gibbs. Gibbs will get it across the timeline to Jenkins. Ukawuba in the corner. Isabua up top. Now Gibbs. Jenkins back to Gibbs. Here's Isabua. Isabua with 7. Out to Coleman. Fires up a 3. That one is good. Tim Coleman with another 3. 53-46. NJIT leads. Here's Lennox. Out to Nakin. Nakin back inside to Lennox. Lennox lets things clear. Dribbles inside. Pump fakes up with the right. That one's off. Rebound Ukawuba. Ukawuba drops to Gibbs. 11:04 in the clock working now for NJIT as Gibbs brings it forward. Now to Isabua. Back to Gibbs. Gibbs at the top. Working now in a 1-3-1 zone for Idaho State. Here's Coleman. Fires another 3. Short. Rebound Luscando. Here's Garrity. Garrity makes some moves, fires up a 3. That one's off, and we're going to get a foul on Luscando. Gino Luscando will pick up the foul, his second. 53-46, 10:37 to play here in Cancun in this first matchup. We'll be back after this media break. Welcome back here to Cancun. 10:37 to play here in this first game. Idaho State down 46-53. NJIT with the basketball. Lynn will bring it in. Starting 5 out there for NJIT. Here's Ukawuba driving in on Garrity, is fouled before he makes his move. It'll be the 15th foul on Idaho State. Foul goes to Garrity, his first personal foul. Idaho State's got another 2:45 without a basket. Here's Coleman. Coleman to Lynn. Lynn tipped away. Garrity with the steal. Garrity all alone has it stuffed by Coleman. Lynn commits the turnover. Thanks his buddy Coleman for saving his bacon on the back end. As he rose up for the block. It'll be Idaho State ball underneath. Flips it in. Toplovich all alone with a two-handed slam. Novak Toplovich. It's up to Lynn. Lynn fires up a deep three. You bet it. 56-48. Damon Lynn. Back comes Idaho State. Boyd trying to get inside of Toplovich. It'll be a foul on Lewis. That will be his fourth. So Bendari will have to check in. Bendari in for Lewis. They get it out to Jones. Jones, Garrity, now Nakin. Nakin up top. Jones. Now Boyd. Boyd on the far side wing. 19 on the shot clock. Gets the screen from Toplovich. Fires up a three. Cans it. 56-51 your score. 9-10 left to play. Still life in this Idaho State team. There's Lynn. Coleman. Ukawuba in the corner. Ukawuba takes a hop step, gets it out to Lynn, fires up another three. That one misses everything. Trying to save it was Isabua, but he stepped out of bounds. Chavichin and Luscando will check in. Nakin and Garrity check out. Idaho State basketball. 8:53 to play. Boyd brings it across. Boyd gets the screen from Toplovich. Dribbles around, kicks out to Jones, open for three. Got it! Robert Jones the third for three, and it's a 2-point ball game. 8:26 to play. Working on the 1-3-1 zone is NJIT. Isabua, now Ukawuba. Back to Lynn. Tipped around, stolen by Chavichin. Pressure gets the steal. Here comes Luscando. Luscando back to Jones. Jones calls for the screen. Pushes off on Coleman. That's a foul. Offensive foul on Jones. Jones's fourth foul. He will have to come out of the ball game. Walsh in for NJIT. Exactly 8 minutes on the clock. (56-54) NJIT with the lead. Here's Isabua. Now Bendari. Bendari to Coleman at the low block. Dribbles inside. Takes a fadeaway jumper. Short. Rebound Chavichin. Back comes Garrity. Garrity working on Walsh. Crossover dribble. Has it tipped away. Got it back. It's Chavichin. Bengals reset with 16 on the clock. And Boyd. Boyd guarded by Lynn. Boyd circles around and spins it off the glass. A nice move by Brandon Boyd, and the ball game is tied again. Fourth tie. Here's Isabua. Trying to get it to Walsh, has it stolen by Luscando. Luscando out to Garrity. Garrity Chavichin for three. No. Rebound. was NJIT, but a foul's going to be called against the Highlanders. With 6:57 to play, we're all knotted up at 56. We'll take a break here from Cancun. Welcome back here to Cancun, Mexico, in the Hard Rock Hotel Riviera Maya. We got another close one involving Idaho State today. They are tied 56-56 with the ball underneath. Coming out of the timeout, but they throw it right away. Be the 13th turnover on Idaho State. Isabua will bring it up for the Highlanders. Jenkins to Coleman. Coleman looking inside, takes the jumper. That one's off. Rebound tipped around, controlled by Garrity. Garrity will bring it forward. Cross to Boyd. Now Chavichin. Chavichin dribbles in. No call. Highlanders with the steal. Back comes Isabua off the window. 58-56 Highlanders. Here's Garrity. Now Boyd fires up a three. That one's short, and the rebound Coleman. Highlanders will bring it forward. Here's Coleman. Coleman, Bendari keeps it high, has it blocked by Luscando. Rebound Chavichin. Up to Garrity. Inside Luscando, spins right there, puts it off the glass. We're going to get a timeout called by Brian Kennedy and NJIT. We're all knotted up at 58, folks. 5:35 to play here at the Hard Rock. Welcome back here to the Hard Rock. Another close game here in the Mayan division. 58 apiece, NJIT and Idaho State. Idaho State dropping into their 1-3-1. That zone's been working most of the afternoon. Coleman now for NJIT. Out to Isabua. Isabua inside to Coleman. Coleman dribbling in on Lennox. Throws it off the window. No call. Lennox with the rebound. Boyd trying to go coast to coast and does. Brandon Boyd gives Idaho State the lead. 60-58. 5 minutes to play. Jenkins with the ball for the Highlanders. Now to Isabua. Isabua at the free throw line. Ukawuba out to Jenkins. Jenkins, Isabua for three. Short. Rebound Coleman. Coleman goes up. Misses the shot but is fouled. Third foul on Luscando. He picks it up. Idaho State on a 12-2 run in their last 4:32. Coleman will dig in at the line. First free throws of the afternoon for Tim. He hits the first. In comes Topolovich and Robert Jones Jr. for Idaho State. 13 points now for Coleman. Make it 14 as he hits the second free throw. Abdul Lewis comes in for Jenkins. Lewis coming in to check the 7-footer in Topolovich. Here's Garrity. Garrity starts up the offense for Idaho State. Gets the screen from Topolovich. Dribbles back out. Luscando. Luscando gets the screen. Stops at the wing. It's out to Jones. Jones trying to turn the corner. Cannot, but a foul called. This one's going to be on Lewis. If it is, that's his fifth. Five fouls on Lewis. Lewis will have to come out of the ball game. The Bendery will have to come in. .60 ball game with 4:24 to play. Jones dings in at the line. Jones with 6 points today. His first free throw is short. Still tied at 60. Jones digs in again. That one is good. 1 point lead for Idaho State. 61-60. Here comes Lynn. Lynn Isabua. Back to Lynn. Coleman. Trying to find it inside. Lynn Isabua. They do get it to Bendari. Now Lynn. Lynn dribbles inside off the window, but a foul called. Idaho State not happy with it. Foul will go against Topolovich, his third foul. Damon Lynn will head to the line. Hits the first free throw to tie the game at 61. And NJIT just 2 of their last 9 from the field. Living at the free throw line right now in Damon Lynn. Lynn hits the second, giving NJIT the lead, 62-61, 4:02 now. Clock running for Idaho State. Boyd. Garrity Jones, now Luscando. Boyd at the far side wing, dribbles inside, pump fake, goes under, is fouled. by Bendery. It's going to be his third personal. With 3:44 on the clock, NJIT has the lead. Brandon Boyd will head back to the free throw line when we come back here in Cancun. Welcome back to Cancun. Brandon Boyd to shoot free throws here after the Bendari foul. 3:44 remaining in this one. Boyd digs in at the line. His first free throw rattles in. Boyd now with 23, a game high, 7 of 14 shooting to go along with 3 rebounds and 2 assists. Boyd digs in for the second. That one also good. Another lead here for the Bengals, 63-62. NJIT working back against this 1-3-1 zone that's caused problems in the second half for NJIT. Here's Isabua. Ukawuba, now Lynn. Isabua, Lynn, Coleman in the corner. Coleman dribbling inside, gets all the way to the bucket and scores. Tim Coleman gives the lead back. It's the 12th lead change in the game. Almost stolen away, goes out of bounds. It will stay Idaho State basketball with 3:08 on the clock. "17 seconds on the shot clock. Jones inbounds to Boyd. Boyd out near the logo. Dribbling on Lynn, goes to his left in the far side wing, trying to get to the baseline. Walked with the basketball. Turnover, Idaho State. NJIT basketball, 2:57 to play here. Lynn will bring it back. Isabua. Isabua trying to get it. Boyd will steal. Boyd going all by himself, leaves it short. Ukawuba with the rebound. Gets it out to Coleman. Coleman will walk it up now with 2:34 to play. 64-63. NJIT leads it. Ukawuba. Isabua fires for 3. Long rebound, tipped around, controlled by the Highlanders. Coleman brings it forward. They will reset with a fresh 30. Here's Lynn. Now Coleman fires for 3. Got it. 67-63. 1:55 remains. And we're going to get a quick foul here. It's going to go against Bendari. That will be his fourth. Ninth team foul. On NJIT, we're shooting double free throws the rest of the way. Toplovich will head to the line. Toplovich 2 for 2 from the charity stripe today. Misses the front end of a 1-and-1. Rebound tipped around, controlled by Coleman. NJIT with a 4-point lead. 1:46 to play. Lynn with it. Now Ukawuba. To Isabua. Lynn. 14 on the shot clock into Coleman. Coleman out to Bendary. Goes through his hands, out of bounds. Idaho State basketball turnovers beginning to skyrocket here in the last 2 minutes. 1:29, clock running for Idaho State. Here's Boyd. Luscando dribbles in, is fouled. He'll head to the line. Let's see who this one's on. It is on Mohamed Bendari. That's his fifth. So both bigs for NJIT foul out with Toplovich in. See who they go with on their bench. Brian Kennedy scratching his head. Now there's a discrepancy in the foul count. Mohamed Bendari has fouled out of the game along with Abdul Lewis. Scrolling down their roster, not much left as far as height-wise. Ron Alston has played a little bit in this game. The freshman, 6'6", from Alexandria, Virginia. He's an option. Anthony Tark has played a little, the freshman. Also 6'6", but just 205. So Jenkins will come in. It'll be Jenkins. So the tallest player on the floor right now is Osa Izabua at 6'3" for NJIT. Novak Toplovich standing 7'1". An obvious size advantage for Idaho State as Luscando will head to the line. This 4-point game makes it a 3-point game as he hits the first free throw. 1:23. And one more free throw for Gino Luscando, who now has 13. Make it 14 as the second free throw rattles in. Damon Lynn brings it across. Ukawuba. What do they do offensively here with no size advantage inside? Izabua, Lynn, back to Izabua now. Ukawuba. Ukawuba looking for Coleman. Has it stolen away by Garrity. Garrity brings it forward to Boyd. Boyd bringing on Ukawuba. Lays it up and in to tie the game at 67. Under a minute to play. 58 seconds and the clock running for NJIT. Brian Kennedy wants time. Timeout Highlanders. 49 seconds to play. Here we go again, folks. Idaho State in another close one. They played Eastern Kentucky to an overtime loss yesterday. It was 30 turnovers that did them in. Gave up 20 points in that overtime period. Today, much better. Just 15 turnovers in the game for Idaho State. been converted to 16 points for NJIT. They've forced 16 turnovers for the Highlanders to convert to 18 points. Offensive rebounding margin still in favor of NJIT, but both of their bigs, Abdul Lewis and Muhammad Bendari, have fouled out of the game. Novak Toplovic, the center from Serbia, 7 foot, redshirt sophomore. The tallest player on the floor for NJIT stands 6 foot 3 inches tall. 9 inches of advantage on Toplovic. We'll see where they go when they get the ball back, if they get the ball back. With 49.7 seconds on the clock, 67 your score, tied Bengals and Highlanders. 5 out there on the floor for Idaho State. Hayes Garrity, Novak Toplovic, Brandon Boyd, Robert Jones III, and Gino Luscondo. 5 out for NJIT. Rob Ukawuba, Damon Lynn, Tim Coleman, Osa Izabua, and Jenkins. Damon Lynn has it, 20 on the shot clock. What did Brian Kennedy draw up out of the timeout? They get it to Izabua. Izabua looking inside. Coleman with 9. Coleman looking at it, guarded by Garrity. Step back 2 is good. Tim Coleman takes the lead, 69-67. 1 second different shot clock, game clock. Here's Garrity. Garrity looking into Luscondo. Luscondo guarded by Ukawuba. Timeout called by Bill Evans in Idaho State. (69-67). So now Bill Evans gets a chance to draw up a play. That last possession for NJIT really came down to an athletic move by Tim Coleman. Tim Coleman able to get the fadeaway jumper to go. Coleman has 21 points in the game. Damon Lynn has 21. Rob Ukawuba with 12. 3 of those players in double figures. Coleman also has 11 rebounds, 3 assists, just 1 turnover in 37 minutes of basketball. Game high, though, goes to Brandon Boyd. 26 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists for the guard out of Los Angeles. So Bill Evans with a full timeout gets a chance for his squad to tie or take the lead. They can basically have last shot if they want it. 1 defensive stop is all NJIT needs. Hayes Garrity in there with Luscondo, Jones, Toplovic, and Boyd. Boyd to inbound underneath. And away we go. Here's Boyd. Boyd inbounds to Jones, out to Garrity. Garrity with 18, hands to Boyd. Boyd guarded closely by Lynn. Starts his move, dribbles forward, goes off the glass. No! Rebound Ukawuba. Ukawuba up to Lynn. Lynn is fouled with 4.7 seconds. He will shoot free throws. 2 would seal it. Damon Lynn will head to the line, who is 2 for 2 from the three-point line. And now we'll get a timeout from Bill Evans before we shoot the free throw. Damon Lynn, this season, ranks first in the Atlantic Sun in points per game with 22. 3-point field goals made with 19. 3-point field goals made per game with 3.8. Third in free throw percentage at 93.8%. 5th in assists per game at just under 4. Last November, he set an NJIT Division I career record, passing Chris Flores with 831 all-time career points. Damon Lin will go down NJIT history. Near 94% free throw shooter, trying to seal the game for the Highlanders. First free throw is good. One more free throw would make it a two-possession game. It stands 70-67. 4.7 seconds left. Free throw is good. 4-point lead. 4.7 on the clock. Bill Kennedy wants a full-court press. Brandon Boyd almost has it stolen away. Hayes Garrity fires a three that's short. And that will end the game. 71-67 is your final. NJIT is your winner of the Mayan division. What a game played. What an afternoon. Tim Coleman finishes with 21. Damon Lin with 24 in the game's winning free throws. 3 assists, 4 rebounds. And that does it. The Highlanders will win this one. Coming up shortly, Georgia State, Eastern Kentucky for the Mayan division first place game. Third place has been won by NJIT. Let's see what happens between the Colonels and the Panthers. Coming up in just about 38 minutes or so from the Hard Rock Hotel, Riviera Maya.